Joe Smolinski.
And I'm Herb Coach, and we're with the Chicagoland Lionel Railroad Club. Well, Joe, we're looking at the Hustle Muscle, the SD45 from Lionel, the Great Northern version.
This is a really interesting engine here because the 400 here from Great Northern was actually the first of the SD45s to be released by General Motors, the Electromotive Division. And this engine first came out in 1965.
Okay, were you alive in 65?
I was.
As a teenager?
And this one actually came out in 1968 when it was first delivered to the Great Northern Company.
Okay.
Now they only produced 8 of these, from 400 to 407.
For the Great Northern.
For the Great Northern,
yeah.
And the 400 is the only one with the Hustle Muscle name on it.
And they put the Hustle Muscle on it because this engine was such an improvement over the SD40. The SD40 was something like 3,000 horsepower. This is 3,600 horsepower.
And because of that, the 600 horsepower increase made this a very high demand engine in the United States. I think General Motors actually built a little over 1,200 of these in the mid-60s to the early 70s.
But that Hustle Muscle really looks nice.
And it looks like a muscle engine, doesn't it?
Yeah. And one thing that was new for this engine, that it had the fins in the back for the dynamic brakes. And this was something new that they put a kind of a V shape on it.
Was that to help, with airflow? Or what was the purpose in that design, do you know?
The purpose of the radiators back there is to cool off the dynamic brake resistors.
Got it.
And yes, that made it more efficient.
Well, with the additional horsepower, certainly was a much-needed item.
Yeah, to brake it.
Exactly.
I like the steps getting up into the front of this engine.
Yeah, they're nicely detailed for the crew to get up to the cabin.
Yeah, you can see the white safety lines there and then the white handrails.
Right. I always like the flashing light on top of the engine.
And right behind that is an antenna, and you can see the grill work on the side, and the nice long handrail. The nice logo from Great Northern. I love that logo.
That's always been one of my favorites.
The 6-wheel trucks are very detailed. Nice big gas tank. That'll take us a couple of miles.
Oh, without a doubt.
And if you notice, this here is fairly stable with the engine, and the trucks move, and this does not necessarily move with it. Now, it's double linked so that if it's on a tight turn, it will go a little bit, it will bend a little bit, but otherwise it stays with the flow of the engine.
That's kind of nice.
So Joe, what I like in front are the big number boards. Look at those 400s, and those signify the engine number.
Yeah, they're very nice and bright. You're not going to miss this train when it's coming at you. I also like the detail on the hand railing. You see the two different colors. You see the white bars as you're climbing up the steps. Very visible for the cab crew members, rather, to see that. And then you've got the handlebars at the front with the silver chain connecting the two front bars.
And we got the front remote coupler.
Oh, there we go. Opens up.
And I like these red warning lights so that if a train's behind it, that it will see it and hopefully not hit it. And then if we're going forward, we got the big headlights going.
Right. And since this is the Great Northern, I'm sure they see a lot of action in the snow, and you can see the big white snow plow on the front of this engine.
Dispatcher, train is outbound. Over. Roger that. Have a good run.
I
Out.
also like the red lights in the back if it's going reverse.
And you got the same configuration with the handrails on the front here as well.
And you can see the white lines on the steps going up. And the silver chain. And if we were going to go in reverse, it's nice to see those headlights really brighten up.
Dispatcher, train is outbound. Over. Roger that. Have a good run. Out.
Now, Joe, I like how this engine has a lot of features, especially in the audio department. To turn the engine on, there's an on-off switch in the bottom left-hand corner. We'll do that. I like how the engine revs up. And now I'd like to install the sequence control, which allows the engine to perform its functions as it's traveling through its route.
Okay.
And that happened by pressing aux 1 and waiting for the bell and whistle to go on, which we heard. So then if we start up the engine, it will do the bell in the slow speeds, it will do the horn, and then
Dispatcher, cleared outbound. Over.
it will do periodic announcements.
I like that.
So let's start it up.
Here we go.
And I like how the light turned off in the cab.
Tower, train is outbound. Over. Acknowledged. Rolling.
He's going through this whole sequence just through that one command.
Right.
Very nice. It's like running on autopilot.
I like it.
My fuel is just about empty. We are at slow speed. Out.
Despite that big gas tank, it still needs to get fuel. So by doing the reset button on the cab 2, you press that and you hold it down
Fill her up.
and you hear the gas going in, or the diesel fuel. And once you got enough, you release it and then it'll stop fueling. Well, we got a lot of fuel here.
Without a doubt, that's one big gas tank.
My fuel's full. Over. Acknowledged.
Well,
Out.
that should get us to the next stop.
I like that turbine whine. Well, here's a nice car, our 25th anniversary car.
Looking mighty fine.
Dispatcher, all clear inbound. Going in now. Over. Affirmative. Out.
Now, all that conversation was with the aux 1
Dispatcher, stopped and ready to cut off. Over.
with the
Roger
sequence
that.
control.
Out.
Really like that. Very nice feature.
Dispatcher, we're on the move. Over. Roger that. Have a good run. Out. Dispatcher, are we clear through the next block? Over. Yeah, clear ahead. Over. Roger that. All clear ahead. Out. Dispatcher, how's the track look? Am I clear? Over. That's affirmative.
Well, this is Herb Coach,
And Joe Smolinski.
and we had a good day doing the Great Northern Hustle Muscle 400. Over and out. Well, that's a nice CLRC 25th anniversary car.
Sure looking pretty, isn't it?
I like it.